Mike Evans, whenever we need him, he's going to make a play. It's a quarterback's dream to be in that huddle, with those guys. And I'm getting time to do it with the guys up front to kind of survey the field and pick and choose. And it was another.
Talking about dreaming, Max. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitzmagic.
I'm about to say Ryan Fitzmagic.
Wow. Hey, hello, world. This is Dave.
And this is Max over here.
All right.
You see me? I look pretty good. That's impressive if you see me. This is a podcast.
I love that. Wow. It's going to be a great show already. I'm locked in.
You have something.
Yeah, but let's just talk about sports. I definitely want to get to the Triple G fight. We're going to get to Jimmy Butler, but football is the most, biggest sport in the world, in America at least.
In America, yeah.
And I've got like a minute and 30 seconds of ranting, and then you can pick out whatever you want, and we can just keep going from there.
Setting the timer right now.
Okay, can I breathe, though, or am I not breathing?
No breaths. What is this?
Oh, my gosh.
We just starting off episode 1?
I know, gee whiz.
Here we go. And 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, my Super Bowl picks, the Chargers and the Saints both won this week. They are now 1-1. But talking about teams that are undefeated, all 3 Florida teams are undefeated. The Dolphins, the Jags, and the Bucks. But me personally, I'm not that impressed with the Bucks. It's Fitzmagic. Any guy with a nickname like Tebow Mania, I'm not all in. The Bucks will come back down to earth, 7-9. But who I am impressed with is the Chiefs. 2-0, Patrick Mahomes. They will be playing late in the AFC playoffs. They are awesome. Guy who has the worst contract in the NFL, Matt Stafford, lost again. And talking about losing, John Gruden lost again. And then let's get to a high note. You get that? A high note? Josh Gordon just got traded to the New England Patriots. Tom Brady passing it to Josh Gordon could be the most dangerous duo in the NFL.
55 seconds. You're short. Make up something. No, that was really good, though. We have breaking news, by the way, while we're doing this podcast. Jimmy Butler's announced his 3 teams, and I'm highly upset right now. But to reflect on your 55 seconds of awesomeness, Patrick Mahomes is the future. Yes, 100% man. The future. I'm on board. Wasn't really on board with John Gruden. And like you said, everybody will come back down to earth with these Florida teams. We're Floridians, and I'm saying we'll come back down to earth.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The most elite real team out of those 3, in my eyes, are the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're a really good team.
Yeah.
They just beat New England. That was like their Super Bowl, a great defense, and Blake Bortles played great, so sometimes you have to give credit where credit's due.
At the same time, I'm about to say, because I don't have a lot of faith in Blake Bortles.
Okay.
Just because you have an outstanding game, I'll give you credit for it, but will he do that night in and night out? Will he? And my bet would say no. You have an elite defense, sure, like it's 100% will show up every night based on their emotion, their aggressiveness, and their talent. I have faith in the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, which makes them an elite team. But I think Blake Bortles is what's going to hinder them or make them take a step back where they're not a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And I'm thinking about it more and more, the AFC, because that's who they are. They're in the AFC, and especially the AFC South. Andrew Luck won his first game. He's starting to look really good.
Yeah.
And the teams they have to get through is, how about Pat Mahomes? Teams like Phillip Rivers, sooner or later, Tom Brady late in the postseason, especially if they play in Foxborough. So I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think they are legit. I think they will probably get to the playoffs, and I didn't think that before the season, but hey, they showed me something. But I think, I'm not going to say they're going to go to the Super Bowl. They look great in the AFC. They look like the best team, but I'm not going to say they're the team to beat just yet.
Oh, I'm going to say it. They're not a Super Bowl team. But Dave, look, this is, we're NBA guys. Can I just jump into this for a second?
Okay, jump into it.
So Jimmy Butler had a last-ditch resort meeting with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
This is great news.
It may be the Chicago Bulls. Who knows? You have now Gibson, you have Butler, and you have Derrick Rose and Tom Thibodeau. And what happened to the Bulls? We all know what happened. They ended up in Minnesota. If
in
that's
their
any
prime,
sign.
They couldn't get the job done. These guys are all overpaid, hurt, and old. I don't know what they're doing
old
in Minnesota.
again because they're old.
God,
they just are old. Derrick
awful.
Rose has no knees. Jimmy Butler's the good player on there. Andrew Wiggins is a shell of himself because he was projected to be LeBron James out of high school, and now he's someone who has athletic ability but doesn't play any defense.
Jimmy Butler is awesome. He's in his prime of his career. He's a two-way player, slasher, shooter, creator, defender. Jimmy Butler's in the middle of the Paul George, Klay Thompson, 12 through 19 best player in the world. In agreement with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what's interesting, so he wants to leave, and there's 3 teams. But before we get into the 3 teams, here were my thoughts before these 3 teams were identified. I was like, well, there's rumors that Kevin Durant will be a Los Angeles Laker next year. And by my Lakers waiving Luol Deng, that freed up space to now have 2 max players, which is huge for LeBron James to have that option with the young roster in LA. It's like perfect dream come true, especially if Kevin Durant comes. And then like you've been saying, Anthony Davis, if he comes, or Kawhi Leonard. But I'm like, okay, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, those 3 players, maybe a Klay Thompson in there, you're winning a championship if you get any 2 of those players with LeBron James.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm thrilled. But then you get this news that Jimmy Butler wants to choose out of 3 teams. We just see the list while you're on your 55-second rant. My Lakers are not on there. It's the Clippers, the Nets, and the Knicks.
Knicks takeover. Here we come, baby.
The Clippers, really? I understand Jerry West is a guru, basketball guru. But really?
This is what I think with Kawhi going to Toronto, and there's already been rumors that he might stay there and like it. When everyone zigs, people start to zag. So the Golden State Warriors, they're all getting together, and they're making an all-star team on one NBA team. So now everyone else in the world seems like they want to kind of not do it by themselves, but like with Russell Westbrook, and he wants a Batman and a Robin. So I think people like Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard, and Russell Westbrook are saying, hey, if the Golden State Warriors stay together, we're not going to beat them anyways. I might as well be the best player on the team.
This is atrocious.
All the All-Stars. The Clippers have the most money. They have more money than the Lakers next year. Of course, they don't have LeBron, who's the greatest player in the world, but if Jimmy Butler goes there, maybe it's like Jimmy and Kyrie Irving, maybe it's Butler and Anthony Davis. You never know. I'm just saying he could be the first guy to go. So I kind of see that. And secondly, so the other one, I'm going to get to the Knicks because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. The Nets have a ton of money too. It's Brooklyn, New York. Kyrie's, already been rumored to maybe go there as well. But all right, can we get to the Knicks? Can I just say something? So much
because I'm infuriated.
Oh,
a wise man named Tony Gonzalez said, "Ego has no amigo." So let it go, Jimmy. Let it go. I am tired of the Twitter world. NBA players throwing hissy fits about the Golden State Warriors and how unfair it is on how they win every year and they have all the good players. You have an opportunity to exercise your right of player mobility and join a team where you can end this dynasty, the Golden State Warriors. If players truly felt this hurt about the Golden State Warriors dynasty and how unfair it is, then make it work. Make it happen and win. That's how I feel about it. And I understand players want to go their own route, but then don't complain about the Warriors because that's your choice. You want to be the man, you want to make the most money, then okay, 100% agree with you, do what makes you happy, but then don't complain about the Warriors because you have a strong chance to end this dynasty if you join LeBron James and the Lakers with a young roster, with cap space, and you blew it. I'm not saying, well, we don't know what happens because it's still early, but based off the information that's already provided, he doesn't want to go to the Lakers. So
that's breaking news right there.
I don't want to hear players saying that then.
I thought the Lakers would be one of those teams. I
really
did. We talked about this right before we got on air. I really thought the Knicks were the front runner. A couple reasons. One, the momentum in the organization has changed. Ever since the Kevin Knox pick and everyone looks how great he is in the Summer League, we're like, wow, we have...
It's still early, though. It's still early.
We have a baby Jason Tatum type of player for a really cheap contract for 3, 4, 5 years. The hiring of Coach Fizdale. He is a player's coach. LeBron loves him. Wade loves him. A lot of people in the league love him. Kyrie Irving is already sought up, loves Fizdale. And then the GM is Steve Mills. And they're saying they're giving him more freedom to draft who they want. So now... the team, Dolan's just signing checks and getting out of the way. And that's what people in New York been saying for a decade what he needs to do. Stops. Phil Jackson doesn't know what he's doing, and Dolan's picking this guy, not picking that guy. Frank the Tank, the European point guard, has put on 15 pounds of muscle. They think he's going to be a starting NBA point guard who plays D and shoots threes. That's the dream, right? And then with Porzingis is one of the most athletic big men in the league, shoots threes, blocks shots. They have it's so crazy. In the NBA, it changes so quick. They're horrible, and they've been bad for 5-6 straight years. If they can make a legit good trade for Jimmy Butler and get one free agent sign in, a Kyrie, who was like the most rumored guy, so let's just kind of throw his name out there, they become arguably one of the best teams in the East right away in one offseason.
Let me slow you down, though. Let me slow you down, because I know you're biased towards your Knicks. I'm biased towards my Lakers.
Yeah.
But Porzingis is 7 feet 2 inches, 7'2". So when you're that tall, after a torn ACL, typically you don't get better with time. You get worse because all the wear and tear on your joints and stress because of all that weight and your size. So he's coming off an injury, and it's not guaranteed he'll be the same player or he'll continue to be not injury prone. Now, I hope he comes back, Porzingis, because I love Porzingis. He's the future of the Knicks.
Yeah.
But you also have a point guard who there is question marks with, and I hope James Dolan does what you say. Because it's on the right track, but who knows what happens during the season if there's a weird criticism or you're getting heat on something. James Dolan is one of the worst owners in the NBA. But for your sake, because you're the co-host, I hope the Knicks are on the right track.
Of course. And come on. If New York is good in basketball, that's good for the NBA.
Of course, yeah.
They need New York, and I think that'd be awesome if New York, Boston, and Philly are all great in the East. That would just be like, wow. It would really transition the NBA, which has been so West Coast, so like San Antonio and Dallas and Houston and Texas, and of course all the LA teams. If the East Coast, especially the Northeast Coast, gets great, wow, that changes the league.
It is true. Now, here's my one pitch to Jimmy Butler. If you're in a room and you see Magic Johnson, who's been amazing for the Lakers, making all the right moves, he always talks and communicates with the players and everything. You have a good owner in Jeannie Buss. You're in L.A., a major market. You're going to be on every TV game. Businesses, dream come true when it comes to that standpoint. And you have Rob Pelinka, Kobe Bryant's former agent, who has been an amazing GM so far. And you have LeBron James in there. How do you pass up on that? Help me wrap my head around this. How could you possibly pass up on that?
You ready for the answer?
Don't say the Knicks.
Tom Cruise. Huh?
Get out of here.
The Marvel Avengers movie has every great actor in it right now, and it's who's the star of the movie? Is it Chris Evans, Robert Downey Jr.?
Always Captain America. Don't doubt him.
It's like, and Thanos was great. Josh Brolin, who's Cable. Tom Cruise is the superstar of his own movies. He has Mission Impossible, and he just did he's got 10 movies long that we
That's why he's Tom Cruise.
Huh?
That's why he's Tom Cruise.
Oh, I know. So Jimmy Butler, more NBA players.
It's a bad thing.
You just said Jimmy Butler. Yeah. Why do you want to go into a room and just be like you're the appetizer? Magic Johnson is the dessert. LeBron James is the main course. Rob Pelinka is the drinks. Brandon Ingram, who's on the rise, and Kuzma are hors d'oeuvres. Why do you want to just be the string beans?
Because you want a championship. You want to have silverware to eat with. You can't go to a dinner table without silverware.
But you say that if, and like 2-3 things, if happens, if the Golden State Warriors stay together, the Lakers, even with Jimmy Butler, is not beating that team.
They'll beat the Warriors next year, with or without Jimmy Butler.
I don't think so.
Lock that in.
Uh-oh.
LeBron James will get a free agent.
You did lock in LeBron winning this year, though.
I said, and I remember I revised it, and I said it's going to be next year. And I said,
the year
yeah,
after. And then the year after.
It's next year, 100%. It's 100%. Anthony Davis will go there, or there's going to be a Kawhi Leonard that goes there.
There's a lot
the
of
young
ifs.
core is going to get better. I'm telling you, the Lakers will win a championship with or without you, Jimmy Butler. You better hop on this train now. We're not waiting for you.
No way. Go to New York, take over the East,
Boo.
add Porzingis. The thing is, I'm interested about the trade. It's like, I don't want to trade all of our young assets. Yeah. I don't want to trade even, who I would love? Just trade him Tim Hardaway Jr. Because he has a big contract that will match up with Jimmy Butler's contract. And just, if you switch out Tim Hardaway Jr. and Jimmy Butler.
I don't think the Wolves would do that.
Gosh.
They would need more in return than just Timmy.
You say that, but what did the Spurs get for Kawhi Leonard? You always
they got DeMar DeRozan. They got an all-star.
I know, but he's
way better than Tim Hardaway Jr.
But Jimmy Butler's not even close to Kawhi Leonard.
Jimmy Butler's fairly close to Kawhi.
Kawhi is the third best player in the world, fourth best player.
Fifth.
DeRozan's the 16th. Like, Jimmy Butler's the 18th, and Tim Hardaway's the 52nd. Like, when you get out of that top 5, top 8 range, you always lose a trade. You never trade a superstar and get your feedback. Ooh, who are they going to get from the Clippers? Gallardo?
Gallinari?
Who are they going to get from the Nets?
Gallinari.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway Jr. is better than any two of those can trade for him.
No, but there's still a lot of pieces you can get. I think because Hardaway, okay, first of all, DeMar DeRozan, even though he's not as good as Kawhi Leonard, you're still getting an all-star in return. Tim Hardaway Jr. is not even close to an all-star, especially in the West. I think that would be a idiotic
Who do you
move.
get from the Nets?
I never said go to the Nets.
But that's what
I say go to the Lakers.
But you said that. But Jimmy Butler can say, no, I'm not going there, and then no team is going to trade for him.
If that's the instance where he said, no, I'm not going there, then let's talk. Then there's that. But I'm saying if it's open, you can get way more in return from the Lakers if possible.
That's exactly. I totally agree with you, but now it's not open.
If it's
they
the
had
Knicks,
that meeting, and they said, hey, these are the 3 teams I want to go to. For one, he's contracted for Minnesota, so they don't have to trade him at all. They could go all in this year and kind of do what Paul George with OKC, or they can do what Kawhi Leonard. Everyone thought the Spurs were going to keep him for a long time. They traded him. So Minnesota can say, hey, we can get a piece, we can get a draft pick, we can get a Tim Hardaway Jr., who's C-plus player in the league, and Jimmy Butler's an A-minus, and say, hey, there's the same position. Maybe we get the ego out of the Timberwolves and just move forward.
I would say if the Timberwolves have to trade him, and they're like, you know what, let's trade him.
Yeah.
The Clippers, you can get Avery Bradley and a Tobias Harris. I'd have to see their contracts and how that works with the salary cap, but I think that's more valuable than just Tim Hardaway Jr.
I agree with that because that's like 2 kind of C-plus players.
And, yeah, Tobias is a shooter, scorer. Avery Bradley's a great perimeter defender.
Good defender. So, but maybe then if the Clippers offer that, that's probably the best deal they can.
I would hate the Clippers to get him, though, because then Kawhi Leonard.
Exactly, I know. But then maybe the Knicks would have to trade. The Timberwolves 100% do it if they put in Kevin Knox in that trade. He's just like the jewel of the summer.
Would you want to trade Kevin Knox? I don't know if you want to.
I know. I thought about it. Remember on one of the last shows, maybe it was that All-Star 2021, I want the Knicks to really keep this young core. I want the Lakers to keep that young core. You know, I'm a LeBron guy. I want the Knicks and the Lakers in the finals for the next 5 years. That'd be my ultimate dream. I want them to grow up together. I like these young guys, and a little part of me is like, no, I don't. But then the other part of me is like, wow, if we can get Jimmy Butler, who's the 14th best player in the world, and then him and Kyrie are guests attached by the hip, and we would weaken Boston by getting him, and now you're Kyrie, Butler, and Porzingis. That's a legit big 3 in their prime.
What we need to do is come out with the locked-in top 20 best players in the world list. So whenever,
next show.
next show. So when we refer to like, oh, he's the 16th best player, we actually can like say the actual number because it's like, boom, right there. Yeah, he really is.
I think that's probably the 3rd best idea you ever had. And what we do is you do your list and my list, and it's like if you have Clay 11th and I am 16th, he's averaged the 14th best player in the world. So it's
we did a top 10.
We got to go 20 now.
Yeah, let's go 20. This way all those in-betweeners can get ranked.
Can I shift a little bit back to football?
Of course.
And then we can talk about some of these things, and some of these things pop. There's one, it's a more of a idea, more of a theory. That's what we do best, right? Sam Darnold. The New York Giants will become the Portland Trailblazers.
Damn it.
They had Clyde Drexler, and Michael Jordan was available, and they said, no, we needed a center. They picked Sam Bowie, and they skipped over Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The New York Giants had Odell Beckham Jr. They signed a left tackle. They thought Eli Manning, who's won 2 Super Bowls for him, probably going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. They thought they can get the most out of this orange, get some more orange juice out of him, and they drafted Saquon Barkley in front of Sam Darnold. And now Darnold's a Jet. I know they lost last week, but I watched the game. I thought he still looked awesome. Even, guys, he's a rookie. He's not going to be Tom Brady in the 3rd week of the season. Give him a chance. Like, he's going to be amazing. If you can't see talent off the screen, I feel bad for you. Darnold's going to be amazing, and the Giants maybe made one of the worst mistakes in NFL history, picking a running back over Sam Darnold.
100% agree. Okay. And I'm a Giants fan.
Okay.
It's terrible. It really is. And I've noticed just from people interacting in the community and just people interacting on Twitter, Instagram, when it comes to Locked In, everybody loves highlights. Everybody loves the electric, dynamic player who makes those plays and runs 40 yards for a touchdown, 60 yards for a touchdown, and that's what grabs the people's eye. And they think this guy's legit. But I think you and I are more of the let's look at the cold, hard facts, Not so much just the analytical point of view, but just what results in wins. It's like you just said, sometimes you don't have to look at a paper and look at the statistics. Sometimes you could just look at a screen and see what works.
Yeah.
And what's talent. And that's what Sam Darnold is he's a guy who's going to make the Jets a legitimate contender for the next 10 to 15 years. We're going to have a running back with an average span of not maybe Saquon Barkley in this case, but like the average statistic is like 3 to 4 years for a running back. I think Barkley will last longer than that, but he's not going to be what Sam Darnold will be for the Jets, and we passed up on that. And with this battle line, Eli looks old. He looks like that meme when he's on the ground. He looks terrified. It's just embarrassing, and it's so sad to see because now we said it before Locked In Picks 2 or during Locked In Picks 2 for NFL. We're like, whoever loses this game between the Cowboys and the Giants has a 10% chance of making the playoffs.
Yep.
We're 0-2. So
I'd lock that in for Dallas. I'm telling you. And the great point, and this is, I'm just like more whipped cream on this Sunday. Le'Veon Bell popped for the Steelers.
Yeah.
He worked. He was one of the best running backs for 5-6 years. But then he became into a contract dispute because he wants to get paid for 3-4 more years, and Pittsburgh knows that he's going to come, when you're 30, 31, 32, you're not going to be great anymore. So now your best running back it's a dispute. So if Barkley's even amazing and he pops, and then he probably will pop. He's great.
Yeah.
Like, who knows how long he's on your team? How much do you want to pay him? When you pay a running back a lot of money, that means you can't pay a defender, you can't pay your defensive end, you can't pay a quarterback. It's a horrible pick. I'm telling you, when you go, they're the Portland Blazers.
I was so upset when it happened. I remember because we talked about who's going to get picked.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, yeah, we got Saquon Barkley. And everyone, I just felt like I was an outlier.
Yep.
But we weren't outliers. We were the writers. I'm making a word. We were the people in the right. And I'm just so upset. I'm reminded every time I watch Sam Darnold play. I love the Giants, but I love Sam Darnold at the same time.
Hey, well, Cuzzo, at least you only have to watch him around 16 more years.
Thanks.
Okay.
It's not too bad.
Hey, anything else at football that jumped at you? Anything from my rant? Any Josh Gordon, Pat Mahomes, the future, the Florida teams? Any team that you like that's 2-0 or 0-2 that you want to talk about?
I'm a little still heartbroken over the Dallas Cowboys game. I really was.
It's
bothering me.
I can't believe you thought the Giants were really going to win that game.
I did. I truly did.
Dallas at home on Sunday Night Football.
It's still.
I can't wait to. And then this week, I think I'm going off the deep end for my Locked In picks. I know the episode will be out soon. Locked In live 3, 4.
Locked In NFL Week 3.
Yeah, something
picks.
like that.
Locked In picks.
I can't wait to get to that. It's going to be great. But okay. Hey, Josh Gordon, the Patriot, you think that's going to work? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, me too. He's just going to get too high.
I think Tom Brady's excited because it's an opportunity. You know what I mean? I think Tom Brady looks at it in a positive way. I don't think he gets too excited. Professionals never get too high on the high or too low on the lows. So I think he welcomes it because it has an opportunity to be successful, but he probably knows deep down this isn't going to be what most people think.
Yeah, totally agree. And then let's end the show with Triple G Canelo, too.
There needs to be a third fight. I've said it.
Really?
Yeah, because the first fight we all think Triple G won. The second fight was even closer to a draw than the first one. But if you say Canelo, you think Canelo actually won,
yeah, I do.
I don't think you're crazy, and I think Canelo has a strong argument of winning that one. So in my book, it would be 1-1.
Yeah.
So let's go for a third one, and then whoever wins that third one, well, depending on who it is,
sure,
is the winner of it all. But what if Triple G wins? Then it's that's one of the biggest rivalries in sports. Then because now you're looking at a fourth fight.
It makes so much sense. It's not going to happen. It's
boxing. The boxing.
It's Triple G won the first fight, and it's a draw. And I really thought it was a draw, or if I'm 53-47, Canelo won the fight. And I'm kind of happy in a way the judges got it right, because I do want them to get it right, but I really did. I had it in my book 6 rounds to 6 rounds. I had a draw, one of the judges had it. But the thing that just drives me crazy is that they could have made Canelo a superstar that night. They could have just praised him, put him on a crown, and said, you are the greatest boxer alive. You just beat Triple G. You're the undisputed champion, and made him a superstar. And all the media wants to talk about is how Triple G got robbed this fight again, which he didn't.
A lot of people did think Triple G won, though. I could see that side, too. I really can.
Barely, I can. It was a close fight, so I'm not going to say, "Oh, that's crazy." But it wasn't a robbery. There's a difference. Cejudo to Demetrius Johnson.
Robbery.
No, that's what I mean. It wasn't a robbery.
That was a robbery.
Everyone thought it was so close. I thought Cejudo won the fight, but if one of the other guys won, you can't say it's a robbery. It was so close. Even if you think the other guy won, it wasn't a beatdown. Conor beat Eddie Alvarez. If they would have said Eddie Alvarez that's a robbery. Triple G, just got out jabbed all day. I mean, he jabbed at Canelo, but Canelo was killing the body the whole fight.
I see your point, but I could easily make the argument for Triple G. He outscored him the entire fight. He had way more punches landed, but it was quality over quantity. What do the judges want?
Exactly.
Some judges want quality. And that's what they did. Some judges like quantity.
Yeah.
So that's why I said there should be a third fight, because that third fight can just end this whole discussion. If Canelo wins again, then we don't ever have this debate. If Triple G wins, okay, a lot of people think he just won 3 times now. Let's go a fourth. Let's just settle the tiebreaker. In a perfect world, I think that should happen.
I'm in agreement. I would love it, but it's boxing, and they won't do it.
All right.
Cool.
Here we go. Locked in.
You want me to go first?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My locked in is this.
Bum, bum, bum.
Jimmy Butler will get traded sooner than later. I mean, by the time this episode gets released, he could be on another basketball team, and I'm going all in. Jimmy Butler is a future New York Knick.
That's a good locked in. I do think it's sooner, or else they wouldn't have had this meeting.
Yeah, and when you have a meeting with someone, and when it goes bad or negative, he goes, what came out of this meeting is he wants to go to 3 teams and he wants to be traded. So they're going to trade him. If nothing came out of this meeting and you didn't hear anything, then, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he goes out half the season. Maybe they trade him at the trade deadline because they know he's leaving. He literally said, nope, I'm a Clipper, Net, or Nick.
I'll take the locked in the same premise but different route. I'm going to say this is the beginning of the end for the Timberwolves, because hiring Tom Thibodeau was to change the culture, be a tough team, a good defensive team. We're now in an offensive-minded league. Although defense wins championships, even the Golden State Warriors have great defense, but of course everyone thinks of their prolific offense. Losing Jimmy Butler is the beginning to the end of this Minnesota Timberwolves. It's not a dynasty, but I would say a little run that they had, because you have Cat, you have Wiggins, you have Jimmy Butler, you had Jamal Crawford. When they did have Taj Gibson, he was a legitimate role player. So to blow this opportunity the way he has, to not really be impressive with the roster that you have, because when this first team got built together, both of you and I were like, this is a legitimate team. Maybe not a championship team, but a legitimate team.
They were last year until Jimmy Butler got hurt. They were the 3rd, 4th seed in the West.
And as your coach, your job is to make sure these egos and personalities blend in a way they make each other better. And I feel like it's divided them, because there's been so many instances of Karl Anthony Towns not getting along with Jimmy Butler, Andrew Wiggins. The coaching has been he just runs his players to the ground, where they play over a high 40s in minutes, and then you wonder why you have players that get injured. And then you get Derrick Rose, which I don't think is a smart signing at all, a guard who's injury-prone, who can't shoot, who's older. I just think this is the beginning to the end, where the Timberwolves are going to go back to what we know what they are. Before you know it, Karl Anthony Towns will leave. I think Andrew Wiggins will leave, and the Timberwolves will be the laughingstock of the West Coast again.
Wow. Hey, that kind of sounds locked in. All right, Cuzzo, another great show. Football, Triple G, Canelo, Jimmy Butler, which is the breaking news. Can't wait. We can't wait. Next weekend, Island Fights 50 in Pensacola Beach, Florida. There's a lot of that coming up, a lot of interviews, a lot of things coming up. Hey, download and subscribe on any podcast platform. We just had Felicia Spencer on the podcast. Definitely give her a follow, a like, a listen. Victor32. Can't wait.
Yeah, and make sure you check out our sponsors. We have Fit Meals to help your diet. I'm in the process of trying to gain muscle weight, and that's helped tremendously, but I know a lot of people are trying to lose weight or just eat healthier just for the long-term longevity. We always talk about LeBron and Tom Brady's longevity. Try to be like them. Join Fit Meals. You can go to myfitmeals.com. Dimitri will hook up a nice meal plan for you, whatever that may be. He will adapt to your plan, your diet, your schedule. It's amazing. And we also have Pep-Boys. It's that time of the year where, you have holiday shopping coming up. You don't want to have to worry about having crazy expenses on your car and it breaking down and having those type of issues. Nobody likes it, no matter what time of the year it is. You go to Pep-Boys on International, Daytona Beach, Florida. You mentioned Locked In. You get a pretty good discount. You can get your tires. You can get your AC fixed. Anything you need, go to Pep-Boys, speak to Richie. And Dave, you already said download, subscribe. So other than that, I think it's Dunkin' Donuts gift cards.
Yeah, I always take those.
And like always, stay locked in.